Hello and welcome into today's edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast. My name is Kevin Hicks and I'm the lead beat writer for Arizona State Sun Devils on SI. And I'm so fortunate to join you today. Uh, Kind of a slow news day in the world of Arizona State athletics. There's not a lot to talk about if I'm being completely honest. We are still hung up on Big 12 Media Days where the Sun Devils took the stage on Tuesday. Sam Levitt, Jordan Tyson, CJ Fight, Xavier Alford, Clayton Smith, and they were all at Media Day, and Ben Coleman as well. Uh, Kenny Dillingham had his press conference on Tuesday. He was the headliner. Um, Obviously, they got rid of the Big 12 preseason poll when it came to ranking teams, and honestly, for good reason. We've discussed this before, but honestly, the preseason polls do nothing but give people something to talk about for a couple of months. They really don't do anything constructive, especially for a conference such as the Big 12 that already gets looked down upon by other conferences, particularly the SEC and the Big 10. The perception was last year that the Big 12 just simply wasn't that good because teams like Colorado, BYU, and ASU uh, exceeded expectations heavily instead of actually giving serious credit to those three teams for actually being quite good. So I understand the move, and they still gave out individual preseason team honors. And if that's any indication, Arizona State is the favorite to win the conference because they led that with 5 selections. Sam Levitt, obviously, Jordan Tyson, obviously, CJ Fight after being an all Big 12 second team a year ago, Xavier Alford, obviously, and Ben Coleman as well. Maybe one of the most underrated linemen in the Big 12, supposed to slide over to center this season, so we shall see how that goes. Uh, I guess I kind of today want to talk about teams that are sleepers in the Big 12 that could potentially be challengers to ASU and why they could be. Uh, it's really hard to say because the Big 12 does have a lot more quality teams this year, at least I believe so. It's not going to be all that cut and dry. Once again, I believe that the Sun Devils should be favorites to repeat, but they might have a tougher time getting to that point just due to the volatility of the conference. Yeah. And let's talk about the Challenger. Sorry, my bad. So I do believe that TCU is a sleeper. I have talked about how adamant I am that Josh Hoover and Sonny Dykes are really building something special within the TCU program once again. And they went 9-4 last year after going 5-7 in 2023 in response to what was done in 2022 when they went to the national title game. Obviously, they lost to Georgia by a wide margin, but that obviously didn't define them. They are still a strong program within the scope of the Big 12, and that should continue. Obviously, Arizona State gets to see them firsthand. September 26th, a Friday night game in Tempe. The Sun Devils still should win that game because they have a more proven defense, and I believe the offense has a higher ceiling as well, but I'm not going to count TCU out. I am not going to count Utah out, and that's another team that Arizona State actually plays by coincidence on October 11th in Salt Lake City. We've kind of discussed Utah in the past. I believe they're one of the teams that's in best position to challenge ASU for Big 12 supremacy in the future, regardless of what happens to Kyle Whittingham. They are a great culture, consistently great defenses, just a model program, really just all credit to them for that. And this year, they probably are going to the year with the best offensive line in the Big 12, headlined by Caleb Lomu. And their defense is probably the best defense in the conference as well. Devin Dampier is a huge upgrade at quarterback. So we'll see what happens there. And then, coincidentally, the other two teams that I'm going to mention are Arizona State opponents this season as well. Houston, they were expected to be a bottom feeder in the Big 12 last season. I mean, by bottom feeder, I mean bottom 3, 2, even a 1 or 2 win team all season. That's what some people were projecting. They won 4 games in the first season of Willie Fritz as head coach. They're really building out their repertoire when it comes to recruiting, when it comes to roster building, and it looks like the team this year will be one of those like frisky teams that could reach 7 or 8 games quietly. Connor Weigman comes in as a former 5-star recruit after not necessarily working out at Texas A&M. We'll see what happens with him, but the upside is there. The talent on the defensive side of the ball is there, and they could be a sneaky challenge to Arizona State, even though they're playing the game in Tempe on October 25th, I believe, the week after Texas Tech comes to town. And then lastly, I'm going to go with Iowa State. I mean, we all know Iowa State, projected by some to be a front runner in the Big 12 this season. I don't necessarily believe that they're a front runner in the Big 12. Obviously, Matt Campbell is a phenomenal coach. He has them going places that they hadn't gone before. He was leading the program. Rocco Becht returns. A quality defense returns. I'm just not sure how they're going to be able to replace Jalen Noel and Jaden Higgins. Obviously, both went to the Houston Texans, ironically. And Iowa State is going to have a tough time to replace them. Rocco Becht is a great quarterback, but I'm not sure who's going to step up, and I think that could end up being a huge factor, especially when you have other Big 12 programs that have proven commodities on the outside. Iowa State is going to have to work for that. I still believe that they're a sleeper, though, just due to the talent they have, due to Matt Campbell's development, his in-game approach, all of that stuff. I still do believe that Iowa State has the potential to be within the top 3 to 5 when it comes down to it. We'll see what happens. Obviously, Arizona State is traveling to Ames to face the Cyclones on November 1st, and that will be a heck of a game. Iowa State's going to be out in Hungary trying to get revenge on Arizona State for the 45-19 drubbing that they saw in last December's Big 12 title game. And yeah, that's all for today. Those are the 4 sleepers that I believe can potentially challenge Arizona State that people aren't necessarily expecting to. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Arizona State football is less than 7 weeks away as of the dropping of this recording, and I am so honored to be covering Arizona State. Thank you for your continued support, and goodbye. See you tomorrow.